How's it going, everybody? Got the house to myself for a few minutes and had a couple things I wanted to update y'all on. I tried to make this video earlier this morning and I did something wrong and messed it up. So thought I just got done cleaning the pool and Olivia's out there swimming and wife and the other two girls are gone right now. So I just wanted to update y'all on how class is going and everything. The last video I made was I told you guys I was going to be entering the law enforcement academy, and so I passed my college assessment, obviously, because I'm in there. My psychological exams, physical exams, background check, all that business, all taken care of. Started August 27th, so this is the end of my third week. So far, it's everything I would expect it to be and more. I really honestly can say that I am excited to go to class every day, and it's busy with our schedule now, and with work and Angie's work, Brianna's work, and college, and the kids in school, and it's just crazy in our house. And I'm sore and I'm tired every day, but it is worth every second. I can honestly say that. I can't wait for the next day to get here. Tomorrow's our first actual exam, and we will have one every Monday for the rest of the year, starting tomorrow. Let's see. I wanted to go over how class works. So my academy is an evening academy. I go to work in the morning, and I come home and I take a shower, shave, and put my uniform on, and I go to the class portion of the academy, which is a couple hours. And then we change into our PT gear, and then we work out for an hour or two. And that's basically every night, Monday through Friday. So it's divided into 2 levels, 5 months each level. The first level will be over with at the end of January sometime. I've had pretty good success with the fitness part of it, and I'll explain that. So at the end of each level, you'll take a written exam, you'll take the TCOL examination at the end of the year, but you'll also take a fitness exam or a fitness test. So basically you have to run, and this is for everybody, the rules are across the board, male, female, age, doesn't matter. It's a 1.5 mile run in 17 minutes, a 300-yard dash in just over a minute, I think 70 seconds. Let's see, a body drag. So you pick up a 175-pound dummy and you drag it, I think at 30 feet in under 11 seconds. I can do it in 5. So those 3 things I am perfect on. I'm fine on. I can do those and everything's great. So what I can't do yet is the push-ups and the sit-ups. I can do more now than I could a month or so ago, which is good. But I work on those a lot because I'm about halfway there. So I don't think it'll be any problem me getting to that level once I'm at the end of this first level and having to take that fitness exam. So also something about the difference in levels. Level 1 is a book course basically. So we won't be applying any of the things we learn to hands-on per se training until the second level. So for instance, the first few weeks we went through the health and fitness part, which is not only your body but your mind. Law enforcement officers deal with a lot of depression and the suicide rate's high, and divorce and alcoholism. So they focus on those parts, not only for yourself but looking out for other fellow officers. And then the fitness part, the body fitness part, obviously, how to eat right and exercise, common sense stuff. And then that was a few days, and then we went over, since then we've been going over stuff like community policing, professional policing, ethics, morality, multiculturalism, things that make you a better police officer when dealing with not just the public, but different parts of the public. So very, very good stuff. I've enjoyed, I have several, for instances. I'll go over one. So last Friday, there were 80 people in our class. Last Friday, the instructor, who is black, very nice lady, her name is Lieutenant Ratliff. She retired from HPD, Houston PD, and then went on to work for the Texas Investigative Unit. She runs a unit there, investigating stuff like illegal gambling places and tax evaders, stuff like that. Anyway, she teaches, and she chose half a dozen or so black cadets out of the audience. And she had them come up front, stand on the stage, and told them, tell us about your home life growing up. Did you have both parents? Were they divorced? Were they remarried? Did you have siblings? Stuff like that. And then also, each of you give the class a tip for if they were arriving on the scene of a black family's home when answering a call for service, like a police officer would. Give them a tip on maybe how they could deal with it that they wouldn't be prepared for. So very cool exercise. So she did it with the black cadets, and then there's something on our table, and then she then called up Hispanic cadets. There were the same amount. I think there were 6 or 7 or so, and then she picked out. She had all the Asian cadets come up, and there were I think 8 of them. I think there was a male and a female from Philippines who actually immigrated here, became citizens, and are now becoming police officers. I mean, how cool is that? Same for a couple of Chinese. One was Chinese, but I don't think he was from China. I think his parents were or something. And then one from Hong Kong, but anyway, all different backgrounds. All of them were from different areas. Grew up in different places around the country, or in a different country, or whatever. So at the end, she pointed out it ended up being 8 white males. Obviously, I was included in that. We all got up on stage, and we quickly realized that we were the only white people in the class. Now, I don't say that as a negative. I say that because she pointed out, she pointed to me, and she said, "You've been around the longest. Obviously, I'm the oldest of the white of that group." And she's like, "I want you to tell the rest of the class how you think this is different than it was 20 years ago." And obviously, my gut tells me that it would be 90% white males 20 years ago, and that was it. That's what she was trying to get at. Is now we're the minority, and not a minority in a bad way. It's more diverse. There are people. It's easier to learn other cultures, even when you're in the academy, than waiting till you get out on the street. I mean, a long time ago, when there were only white officers, they were thrown out in the middle of the different parts of, especially in Houston, all different kinds of areas, and they have no idea what, how to go about approaching somebody. They have no idea what their culture is like, and that's something that I felt was important. I thought it was a good exercise, and it really taught me especially how do I put this without saying it wrong? I don't have a lot of experience until I moved here with a lot of different cultures. I mean, most of you on Facebook especially, you grew up where I grew up. Whereas we're all the same. We're all white people. And it's all just a bunch of white people. And I don't say that like it's a racist area for those not from Central Illinois. It's just that's the way it is. It's just the way the makeup of the area. When I grew up, there were no Mexicans around. There were no or any kind of I saw Asians when I'd go like to the college over in Champaign. Obviously, there are black people in Champaign, but it just wasn't really culturally diverse. So especially somebody like me who is still now learning different cultures from living in Houston for 11 years. And just so for those of you not from here, Houston is the mecca of cultures and races and creeds and religions and everything. And I don't mean Texas. Texas is I'm talking about Houston in general, is like this melting pot of everything you can imagine. So I tell people all the time that I'm thankful my daughters get to grow up here because they get to learn about things they would never had a chance to learn about without just looking up on the internet, but actually experience it. Go to school with different kinds of people from all different backgrounds. And I think that's awesome. I really do. Anyway, so back to the exercise. So, we all did our thing. We told them where we were from, and people were actually shocked that I grew up in a place that was so white. And she pointed out that she goes, even the ones that grew up in the hood, there were white people in the hood. He's talking about he grew up in an area where there's just there's just no other cultures, no other races, so, they were pointing out things that would help us or the whole class. This includes Hispanics, because a Hispanic officer might not know what to do when he goes to a white home or a black home, and a white officer is definitely not going to know what to do if he goes to an Asian home, and all these things. So the culmination of that first 3 weeks of class with that exercise was just fantastic. And every day was like that. It was a great experience. Ratliff, she'll never see this or anything, but she was the epitome of what a teacher should be. She worked on the street. She worked in Vice. She's experienced all these things, and she imparted that knowledge onto us in a short amount of time. And I can't wait till we start the next thing. And the next objective, she's done, by the way. They have different instructors for different things. The next objective is, I think the next thing we learn is the Texas Constitution and U.S. Constitution, dealing with the Bill of Rights and rights in general and those things. So that'll be our next evolution, so to speak. And then we move on to like traffic and penal code and a lot of book work. Like I said, the first level is just learning things from the book, and then we apply those things later, in the class. So that's basically what we've been doing. Now we also learned about, like I said, we had to recite the code of ethics, the law enforcement code of ethics one time. And for those that have never heard that or seen that, or I can only, this is how I felt reading it. I felt like I was standing on a hilltop listening to Lee Greenwood play God Bless the USA with fireworks going off and the military marching behind me. That's like cliche, thing, but that's exactly what it felt like. And it has, the code of ethics has nothing to do with America. It's just how I felt. This surge of pride and kind of oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, not that I would forget that, but they talked about it being a calling, that you're called to be an officer, because the ones that aren't, and they're there just because it's convenient for them, they're not going to be successful officers. And I'm glad that I was called. I'm glad that I got a bug and I had to pursue it, and thank the good Lord that it's so far has worked out. Between my family's support and friends and coworkers and the help from my surgeon, Dr. Now, doing the surgery successfully and getting me to this point of losing weight and working out, and everything's kind of fallen in place. And I like that they said that, because there was a lot of times where I tried to talk myself out of doing this, not because I didn't think I deserved it. I think I was just trying to make sure. And there is no doubt in my mind that I'm doing the correct thing now. I want to be a cop, and I'm going to be a damn good cop. That's the only way I can put it. I can't wait to graduate. I can't wait until next week. I can't wait till January. I mean, all these things, and I keep seeing the schedule in my book of what we're going to be doing, and I look forward to it all the time, and I'm stoked about it. So anyway, that's my update for y'all. I'm sorry it's windy and gibberish, and I just wanted to share with y'all how it's going, and I'm excited. It's tough. It's tough on the family. Bless my wife and my kids for they don't get to see me. I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Someone asked me if I was just doing it so I can hide away from all the women in my house, but no, they have embraced it, and it's awesome. It's a good feeling, and it's gonna be a great year. No matter how hard it gets, it's gonna be a great year. Thanks for listening, guys. I love y'all, and we'll catch you at on the next video. Take care.